Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook. Today we are back to discussing the sweet moments of Jungkook and Jimin. It's not about camera highlights or intentional scenes, but brief moments that are almost missed, a small smile, a warm gaze, or a spontaneous gesture that feels so sincere. What if a single concert was able to present so many small details that are interconnected, from clothes that look harmonious, to the vibe of togetherness that feels like they are on the same frequency, to spontaneous interactions that steal more attention than the stage itself. At today's concert in Japan, Jikook once again showed what many in the audience called the harmonious era. However, it is clear that this is not just a matter of similar clothes. There was something more subtle and difficult to explain, the harmony of energy that was evident from the way they moved, responded, joked, and stood side by side on stage. It's these small details that make the whole moment feel alive, warm, and layered with meaning. Since the beginning of the concert, their interactions and visuals have given a strong impression that they are in the same rhythm. That compatible impression doesn't stop at the outfit, but extends to the aura they carry. Every small gesture, brief glance, and even a light joke feels like it flows in a pattern that is connected to each other without the need for explanation. Visually, clothes are the first element that attracts attention. Both are on a similar spectrum of styles, but still retain their respective identities. There is no impression of being forced. What is seen is natural harmony. Hoodies became the dominant element of the night. Jimin wears a super short hoodie that gives the impression of being light, soft, and relaxed. The silhouette accentuates a subtle yet still visually strong character. Her every move feels in tune with what she's wearing, creating a supple and distinctive presence on stage. Meanwhile, Jungkook opted for an oversized hoodie with a loose cut, a style that has long been his trademark. This look gives the impression of being relaxed, free, and not rigid, as if comfort is a priority without compromising the visual impact. The difference in silhouette between the two actually creates a beautiful contrast when they are in the same frame. Interestingly, despite the different cuts and shapes, there is a visual synchronization that is hard to ignore. It was as if they were walking on each other's style paths, but always meeting at the same point. Jimin with his gentle impression, Jungkook with his relaxed aura, but when side by side, they all blend in a consistent visual rhythm. There is also an element of subtle similarity in their clothing motifs that give a visual feel with a similar theme. In the context of concert fashion, this may be part of stylist curation. But for the audience, these small details further reinforce the impression of visual connection between them. As the concert progresses, not only do the visuals stand out, but also the spontaneous interactions. One of the moments that stole the show was when Jimin casually put his hand on Jungkook's shoulder. The movement looks natural, without a doubt, like a long-standing habit. This brief touch feels organic, not something made for the camera. Soon, they walked side by side under the stage lights in matching hoodies. There are no dramatic movements, just two people walking in the same rhythm. But it is precisely this simplicity that creates a strong sense of harmony. A moment of humor was also present when Jimin joked to the audience, "Do you want to go on a date with me?" which was delivered lightly. Jungkook's reaction to repeating that sentence with a surprised expression became one of the funniest highlights of the night. The repetition feels spontaneous, like an unfiltered reflex, making the atmosphere warm and full of laughter. In between, there are also quick but attention-grabbing physical interactions, playful touches in the neck area, and the moment when Jimin casually touches Jungkook's chest in a playful way. Everything happens within the limits of the spontaneity of friendship, flowing without rigidity. Instead, there is a moment when Jungkook gently grabs Jimin's shoulder. This simple gesture actually feels very natural because it is not exaggerated. Small details like these are often in the spotlight because they reinforce a consistent sense of closeness. Overall, this series of moments creates a unique atmosphere, a blend of humor, spontaneity, visual harmony, and interaction flowing in one same space. There is not a single moment that truly stands alone. The strength of it all lies precisely in how those little details are connected from the beginning to the end of the concert. And perhaps that's where the real attraction lies. Simple things that, when put together, turn into something that continues to grab attention and is worth observing from a variety of perspectives. If you look further, there is an interesting pattern that continues to emerge throughout the concert. Not just about what they do, but how they do it. The way they stood unconsciously facing each other, the footsteps that often fell at the same tempo, to the small moments when one of them turned their heads and the other responded as if they understood without the need for words. In some parts, the camera captures them in the same frame without any major interaction. But it is precisely in those calm moments that the harmony is most evident. There are no flashy movements, no made-up actions, just the presence of two people who seem very comfortable sharing the same space on a large stage. When speaking to the audience, their attention was also seen to be divided several times. When one of them speaks, the other often glances at it with a light expression, as if following the flow without having to be directly involved. This creates a sense of togetherness that doesn't require any special highlights, as it's already present naturally. Interestingly, the rhythm of their interaction never feels forced to be the center of attention. Everything happened on the sidelines of the normal flow of the concert. Precisely because they are not made dramatic, those moments feel more real and easy to capture by the audience who are observant in paying attention to details. There are also times where the two seem to be laughing almost simultaneously, even though the laughter triggers are very simple. This kind of synchronization of reactions often goes unnoticed if not observed closely, but when they are seen, they give the impression that they are actually in a harmonious mood. As the concert nears the end, this pattern remains consistent. There has been no major change in the way they interact. From the beginning to the end, the same impression is maintained: light, natural, and harmonious. It was as if the entire night was wrapped up by a stable and unified energy. For the audience, this is what makes the clips from this concert feel interesting to watch again. Not because of one big scene, but because of many small details that are only felt after reattention. Every time it is replayed, there is always something new to be realized. In the end, this concert not only left an impression through the magnificent stage performance, but also through the simple moments that appeared in between. Small details that may seem trivial, but when combined, form a whole picture of a comfortable and consistent togetherness. If the series of moments is put together, it can be seen that the attraction does not come from one particular scene, but from a plot that feels consistent from beginning to end. Every little detail seems to be a complementary piece of the puzzle. The harmonious visuals, spontaneous gestures, light humor, to the way they share the stage space without awkwardness. Even in between song transitions or when the audience's attention is diverted to the other side of the stage, that small interaction still appears. Sometimes it's just a brief glance, sometimes it's a thin smile that isn't too highlighted by the camera. But precisely because they are not the main focus, these moments feel more authentic. There is an impression that they don't have to go out of their way to look in sync. That alignment is already present in the way they move and react. This creates a comfortable atmosphere not only for them, but also for the spectators who are watching. Interestingly, many of these moments only feel meaningful after being seen again through the recording. Upon rewatching, the audience begins to realize how often they are in one rhythm, both visually and in small interactions that are barely visible at first glance. This concert finally left a different impression, not just because of the stage, lighting, or musical performance, but because of the small layers of interaction that form the narrative behind the main performance. Thank you for watching until the end, Jikook lovers. If you also feel Jimin and Jungkook truly delivers in every performance, don't forget to support this video by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let us know in the comments which performance moment from the Face era gave you the most goosebumps. See you in the next video. Borahi!